Good morning. It's Thursday, April the 6th, and you have arrived just in time for a cup of coffee. This is In Bloom. It's my podcast. I am Josh Bickford. This is a conversation over a cup of coffee on thriving in life and in real estate, and I am so glad you joined me today. Champions again. Go Chiefs. Anyway, this week we have been talking about assumable mortgages. I hope that you have gotten a lot of value out of this week. I hope you've shared this with a friend. If you have, that you're looking to add value to the people around you. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe below. If you're listening on audio, subscribe to our podcast on the platform you prefer. This is a conversation that happens 4 times a week, Monday through Thursday, live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn at 9 a.m. Mountain. And this is our final broadcast for the week. So I am so glad you joined us. This is going to be the one that inspires you and motivates you a little bit to go into the weekend strong. So we have talked a lot about assumable mortgages. We've talked about where to find them, differences between them, all that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about the kind of what an assumable deal looks like against what a non-assumable deal looks like. And I'm actually going to share some video with you. There's audio here, so you can listen to the whole thing if you're listening via audio. But from the second lesson in my free assumable mortgage class, which is linked below, this is a comparison of 2 houses I found with a quick search that are almost dead ringers of each other. One has an assumable mortgage, one does not. And I want you to see the difference between the two and hear it. And you can, you'll see a little bit of what the opportunity is. And then when the video is done, I'll join back on here live and we'll finish this cup of coffee. We'll talk about what this looks like when you're listing, what it looks like when you're buying. And we're going to talk about what it is that makes this such a big opportunity, you'll see, which is the affordability, how it's going to change demand for these specific products, and how it provides certainty to buyers and sellers in a world that is going to be very, very, very uncertain. So uncertain. Need more coffee. So without further ado, let's put this on. I went into the MLS and I found a couple of deals that were for sale that are very similar. One has an assumable mortgage and one does not. And unfortunately, in this case, neither of them notate any of this. So nobody that is shopping for these has any idea that one of these is a giant deal and one of them is not, so to speak. Like, you get what I'm saying. So how would I present these to clients? So these are nearly the same price. One of them started at $670, has made it down to $625. The other one started at $635 and is at $625 now. They're both similar size. They're both similar curb appeal. They're both similar year built, similar property taxes, all of that kind of stuff. These are very, very similar homes. The home on the left has a mortgage that was refinanced in 2021, an FHA note on a 30-year fixed rate, and that one should be assumable, right? The one on the right does not have that. That one has a conventional mortgage. So if you were going to list this, I want you to think through the next screen we're going to jump into where I show you what this looks like. I want you to think through this as a list agent. How would you discuss with a seller how you would list the house on the left, assuming the house on the right was already active? What expectations would you set? What would you point out that was more marketable about the house on the left? What would you point out as reasons why you're going to be able to move the house on the left, even though the house on the right isn't moving? That one is clearly your competition. I mean, those are very, very, very similar houses. Some of you are looking at this right now and you are flabbergasted at the price. I am. Every time I look at these, it's ridiculous. I moved to Colorado from Atlanta, Georgia, and much, much cheaper there. And I think like everybody here in the Denver area has told me that this has never been a really expensive area, that this is just, it's one of the reasons Denver was one of the first markets, in Colorado Springs too, to really see the market adjust when interest rates went up. So house on the left is assumable. House on the right is not. So if you're listing the house, think through those. If you are helping someone shop in this particular area and they are looking for a house, think through this in terms of how would you present this to a buyer? This is an easy, you're going to see as a buyer, this is an easy sell. I would, if you have people that are looking for assumable mortgages, you're going to want to curate their lists for them so that you can say, hey, email them, once a week or whatever. Hey, here's 10 houses that are assumable in the area you're looking, like, let's look at this, and show them that way. You're going to see on the next screen, the most marketable thing about the house on the left is the financing, bar none. The interior finish of these is not going to matter when you see this. If one of them backs to a park and the other one backs to the main road on the outside of the neighborhood, if someone's looking and they want to be in that area, they're not going to care. You're going to see that. So, and I know that's hard to wrap your mind around, because when interest rates are super low and property goes no direction but vertical on the appreciation scale, people look for all kinds of different things. When you're not in that market and homes are really not affordable right now, you're going to see different things that people are very interested in, and the things that are marketable about houses and the things that are not marketable about houses. So now that we have kind of talked through that, you're thinking through how you would present these. Let's look at what this looks like using the sheet that we used yesterday. I have already filled it all out here. So I assumed here a $625,000 price. Both of these are competing against each other. Both of these are priced there. That's a full ask price. I don't think that's really going to happen, but I wanted to give even numbers. So let's assume a 5% down payment here. So you've got somebody with a small down payment and looking in this particular area. Down payment would be $31,250. You can see on the new loan column on the top left of the table that I have, loan amount is $593,750. Interest rate 7%. And you know what? I messed my table up. The PMI is actually correct in the bottom. I put it in the wrong box there. PMI is actually 260-224. I went online and got a calculator with that. Starting, we'll just say we're going to close January 1st. First payment is there. The loan that we would be assuming that the seller has just made their normal mortgage payment, would be, it's on the middle column on the right side. The months left when we would assume it, all of that, they're $581, $556. You would probably have a month of interest on top of that. So when you're assuming, there's obviously a moving target there a little bit. So the numbers don't line up here perfectly, but again, we're inside of $10,000. So that could be, if they had a little bit more down payment, or they could get a HELOC if they needed it, or maybe you just get 10% off or $10,000 off the price and you've got it right there. So if you look in the bottom right, monthly payment comparison, the house that you would be assuming the mortgage, the payment is $3,100 a month, which is a lot, obviously. The house on the right, which you would not be assuming, is $4,200 a month. That is not including taxes. That is not including property insurance. That is not including HOA fees, which these properties would obviously have. In the end, what it means is the house with the assumable mortgage is $1,100 cheaper every single month. In a year, you've paid down $6,000 more principal while spending over $13,000 less in payments. In 5 years, you're at nearly $66,000 in savings on your monthly payments, and your principal has been paid down by $30,000 more. And 10 years from now, you've saved almost $132,000, and you're really close to $60,000 in savings over, or in principal buy down over a 10-year period. Just think about those numbers. Like, this is not something where somebody went deal hunting. This is not, they didn't find somebody in a situation that makes this the deal of a lifetime. This is literally 2 houses that are active on the market right now that are at the same price, where you can assume one and the other one you can't. That's wild, right? Like, I'm not the only one who sees that. That is affordable, which, I mean, obviously we're talking about a 600,000 plus price there. Cut it in half. Maybe your market at 300 is more like it. So you're only saving, $550, $600 a month to go that route. And all of those numbers I said are just basically cut in half, but it's still huge. That is affordability in a market that is unaffordable. When you put property taxes and HOA fees and all that on, I mean, with a 10% down payment, the house that isn't assumable there is over $5,000 a month. Easy. How many people are really looking for that? Especially in a house. I mean, that looks like a basic family house, like middle class, just normal, standard everyday stuff, not anything when I think of somebody spending $5,000 a month on a house, I'm thinking maybe not a palace, but you're thinking really, really nice, really, you're probably on a golf course. Maybe there's a gate there. Affordability is going to be the thing that we really are facing over the next few years. Like, every 1% that interest rates go up, the same mortgage payment is a 10% smaller mortgage. And that just climbs and climbs. So if everybody buys on payments, it would reason, and they're moving at different speeds right now, which is why nothing's affordable. It would reason that if we were at low 3s and we're in the low 7s, there's places that could see that, 30 to 40% correction in values if that's sustained for a long time. What happens if you go to 8 or 9 or 10? Like, as rates climb, this gets more and more and more appealing. These are going to be the listings that have the highest demand. They just are. Why would you want to spend double? What feature is it that causes you to say, for a very similar house, I'd like to spend double on this one, please? There isn't one. Like, what do people need when they buy? They need certainty. They need to know long-term what this decision is going to mean. They need to know that they can afford this. If we're telling them, marry the house and date the rate, and you can barely afford this now, but in the future, when the rates go back down, you can refinance. Well, what happens if values and rates what if rates go up and values come down? Now they're upside down in the house and they can't refinance down. They are totally in a bad place. You don't want to do that to people. They'll hate you, and you're not going to get referrals from folks like that. You're not going to get, you're not going to have the trust of your market. You're not going to be an authority. You're not going to have a word that people listen to. Like, when you speak, people are going, whatever, that person does whatever they want to get paid. You don't want to be that person at all. You want to provide an unbelievable level of service so that everyone you come into contact with rants and raves about how awesome you are, and they tell everyone about you. Become an expert in these. And what I do is help people find affordable houses in an unaffordable market. Or maybe you just get really good at farming these or listing these, and you just have a book of business that's assumable mortgages, and you know how to guide the transactions and go from there. The opportunity is unbelievable. I really believe this opportunity is better than what we just went through, because you're not, it's not a desperate situation where you're trying to outbid 100 other people and all of it. Like, this is something that's not, like, these are going to have more demand. And I can see in some places, if there's only one assumable deal, there'll probably be some multiple offer type of things that happen with these, but it's not going to look like what it did. And it's not going to be this horrific experience for people. Like, it'll be something that they can afford, that the benefits are huge for the buyer and the seller. The demand is going to be there. There's going to be more control within the process because it's a more collaborative process. And if you're selling in an unaffordable market, when you don't know how many people are going to have to look at your house, how long is it going to be on the market, that really upends your life for a long time. And with this, you don't need to worry about that. The people who are actively looking within the market are going to choose the affordable house. It just is. And that's the opportunity. I hope that you can see it. I hope that I've communicated it in a way that makes sense to you, and that you understand that the thing you've been looking for, the solution you've been after, has been found. This is the way to take fear out of the future, to regain control of your business, and to feel like you're not prepared, or you're not ready, or you're not good. Like those, you don't need any of that. You know, we live in an unbelievably abundant place. We just do. And when you get away from the real estate anxiety we talked about last week, when you get away from trying to control what you can't control, and you just say, hey, I'm going to accept what is. I'm going to go into it with my head held high, my eyes wide open, and confidently I know the solution will be found, and I will find the path forward, and I will survive. No, I will thrive. That's where you need to be. That's why we're having this delicious cup of coffee together today. My hope is that you walk away from this thrilled, inspired, encouraged, optimistic, all of the opposites of what happens when you try to control things you can't control, and you're anxious and fearful and worried, and all of that kind of stuff. You don't need to be that way. Like there's always opportunity, always. Assumable mortgages are going to be an opportunity for a while, and then eventually they'll be paid down enough that it'll be a little trickier to do them then. But you know what? There will be another opportunity there. That's just the way that it works. When you are creative, when you dedicate yourself to something and determine that you're going to figure it out, you do. They always say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Well, what I know from that is you're ready, and I know you're going to thrive. So if you want more on assumable mortgages, my links are below. The first class in that 3-part series is linked. It's right on YouTube. You can watch that right now if you want, linked below. If you'd like to do the 3-part series, which that video we just watched was part of the second lesson in the deal structuring of those, you can sign up. That link is below as well. And those, you have to submit your email on those. However, I send you the link right away, and you can watch all 3 of those. By the end of the day today, you could have all the bullet points that you need to integrate this into your business. If you want more, if you want to skip the learning process of that and learning as you go, and you want to have a level of mastery up front, and deliver wow and deliver excellence to the very first person you walk through one of these transactions, there's a master class, and you'll hear about that at the end of the free class. And you can jump in there and join the community and the live Q&As and everything we do. That is a fantastic opportunity to speed up the process to be a master of the assumable mortgage. So I trust that you've gotten some value out of this. You're still watching. You're at the end of the show. I want you to have a fantastic weekend. I know you can do it. I know your future is bright. And I am thrilled that we have gotten to spend all of this time together. Until we speak again, enjoy your coffee. Have a fantastic